Okay, let's get started. Uh, so last session we covered most of the items with respect to the aggregate functions. What are the aggregate function? How you can utilize them into the query and develop in the development area as well. So what is min, max, sum, average, and group by, and how you can do the all together in a single query. All these things we have learned. Today we're gonna learn some more built-in functions that are present in SQL Server. Let's start with the date functions. So what are date functions? The date functions are the function which are built up within the SQL Server and helps us to deal with the any sort of a date conversions or date data that you want to fetch from the database. Example, today's you want to example, there is a high any employee gets hired to the company, and that is his hire date, right? So when he leaves the company after 3 years, if at all we want to calculate the duration of the stay of that employee in that particular company, he has to calculate between the hire date versus the relieving date. That is nothing but the uh, when the date when he leaves the company, right? So that is the difference between the difference between hiring date to that date, whatever the date that he is leaving the company is the date which you need to calculate as the duration. So how you can calculate with these date functions that are available inside the SQL Server. So today, let's start with the first one. There is already a built-in function which is called as current timestamp, right? So if at all, if you want to see what is the current timestamp with the date and the time, then there is a function that is called as current underscore timestamp. If you run this, right, select with the current timestamp, you will be able to see the date with the current time stamp as well. If you see, right, 2025 126 and 12/5 is the date and the time which it is going to display when you run the current underscore timestamp. Similarly, so if at all there is a UTC data, right, universal time data, then that you want to display, always UTC data is nothing but the date plus 5:30 GMT, right? Addition of that will be cell. There is a function that is available is get UTC date. If you do that, so you will be able to see the universal time date with the coordinated time. If you see, right, six is the addition of 5:30 with the 12/5. So when you add the 12/5 with the 5:30 hours, you will be able to arrive at the 6. That's what it is displaying here. So that is the function which is available, get UTC data. That is nothing but the universal time data. And also if you want to display the today's date, then there is a function. This is a much useful in most of the times when you are doing the development. So get date is the date function which is helps us for the developer to get the today's date, which is the date, right? Select get date, open parenthesis and close parenthesis. If you give that, it will display you the today's date, 2025 126, and the time also, right? And what is a system date time? That is nothing but whatever your laptop, whatever the system that you are using, whatever the server that system is running, SQL Server is running, that is called system date time. The current time, that is nothing but 12/6, 12/7, right? Each and every minute and second, whatever it is showing in the system, that is called as system date time. So if at all I want to fetch that particular system time, then there is a function that is available in SQL Server, sys date time, open parenthesis and close parenthesis. If you see, right, it will display you the system timestamp with the date, and then the seconds also it will display. What are the seconds with the milliseconds? All those details will be displayed when you use the system date time. Similarly, system UTC date time, that is nothing but the universal date time with the system. That is whatever it is displayed here plus 5:30, 5:30 hours. That will be the universal time. That is what it is displayed here. Okay. Then there is a system date offset also. There is a function called offset, which is, yeah, tell me.
I am not able to see sharing screen.
Oh man, you could
Yes.
have told me in the beginning, right? Okay. Now,
Yes.
okay. So then there is a function, there is a called a system date time offset, which will help us to get the time offset as well, which is timestamp along with the plus 530 hours, which will be separately displayed. It is not, if it is a UTC time, that is a universal time, then it is an addition of that it is going to display. But if it is not a UTC, then it will display as is the with the date time and the plus 530 hours it will show. Okay, and example, there is another, these are all the date functions. Right now, if at all I want to see the what is the date today, 26th, right? And what is the day of the week? It is Sunday. So if at all I want to see what is the day, weekday of the particular date, that is nothing but 26th date is there, right? For 26th date, what is my day, weekday? Then there is a function called date name. If at all, if I use this date name function, there are two values that you need to pass. One is which, what is the day, weekday is the function which will help us to get the weekday, and comma, you have to pass the date. For that date, what is my weekday? If at all I want to find that, then there is a function called in the date name weekday, comma, you mention the date, which weekday that you want to find on that particular date, right? That is the, in this case I am passing the get date. If I pass the get date, that is nothing but today's date. For today's date, what is my weekday? That is Sunday, right? Usually if I pass the query like this, it will fetch you the weekday of that particular date, that is Sunday, right? Similarly, if I want to fetch the date date of that particular date, I mean today is the 26th 01/2025, but I want to fetch the day only 26th, right? Then there is a function called date name 20 dd, that is nothing but the day, where get date, you need to pass the date that you want to get the date. Okay, so let's run it out. If you are able to see Sunday and then the 26th, that's how you gonna display the weekday or day. Okay, now I want to fetch the month part of it, right? What is the month of today's date? That is nothing but January, right? You should pass it as date name, month, comma, get date. If you pass like that, it will display you the current date. What is the month it is going on? So January, it should display January. Similarly, if at all I want to fetch the year only, in that case, year, comma, get date. If you pass like that, it will fetch you 2025. So date name is the function which will help us to part of the weekday, date, or a day, or a month, or a year of that any particular date that you're gonna pass it as a second parameter, right? That's what it is gonna display the corresponding values for that. Similarly, there is a date part function is also available. So if you observe, right, weekday of the get date, it will display you the Sunday, which is Sunday is nothing but the date part. It is not displayed the name of that weekday. What it displayed is numbering of that day. That is nothing but Sunday is the 1, Monday is the 2, Tuesday is the 3, like that it will go on till Saturday, right? So today's date is the Sunday. For Sunday, what is the weekday? First day of the week, or second day of the week, or third day of the week? Sunday is always the first day of the week, right? If you give the date part, it will fetch you the what is the day of the particular date, right? That is nothing but weekday. What is the weekday? First is the weekday of this today, Sunday, right? So similarly, day, dd is nothing but date part of the, if you pass the date part of the get date, that is nothing but 26th day. Similarly, month, it will help you to get the current month. First January is the first month, right? It will display 1. See, year it will display 2025. That's it. You got the difference. Date name, it will display the names of it. Part, it will display the part of that particular date. Okay, so there are two functions that are available, name and date part. You have to use wherever based on your requirements, right? So now day is the, what is the day of today's get date, right? That is nothing but Sunday, right? Or 26th day, sorry, 26th day of particular get date. So if you observe, right, 26/01/2025, what is the day? 26 is the first day of that particular month. So it will display like that. Similarly, if I pass the in place of get date, if I pass any date in rather than passing the today's get date function, I pass any other date. Okay. Example, in this case, I am passing the 2022/08/30. If I pass the what is the day of this particular date, then it will display you the 30. 30 is the date, right? That is what it is going to display. See, if you pass any date, out of that it will fetch you the particular date which is mentioned in that particular date. That is what it is going to display. Okay. Similarly, if I want to fetch the month of any particular date, today's date, what is the month? January, first month, right? That is what it is going to display. See, similarly in this case, 2022/12/30, what is the month that is present in this particular date? That is 12. It should display us if I pass like select month of parenthesis open, close parenthesis. In between that, you need to pass the value, that is the date value which you want to fetch the month out of it. So that if you pass it, you will be able to see the particular month value which is present in that particular date. Similarly, year, if at all I want to fetch the year of this particular date, today's date, that is 2025. Similarly, if I pass the particular date within that get date, in place of get date, I will get in this particular date, 2020 is the year which is coming as the year value, which will display select year of that particular date. See, 2020 it is displayed. Okay, so these are all the functions that is available in SQL Server which you can use when you are playing with the date function parameters. Similarly, there is a date difference. There is a function called date difference. So what is date difference? Date difference is there are always three parameters that you want to display. You need to consider whenever you are passing the date diff function. Whenever you are using a date difference function, you need to pass three values inside that, in three parameters inside the parenthesis. One is what is the calculation, either you want to calculate the number of days or number of years. That is your first parameters. Okay, in this case I am calculating the number of days. Okay, and second parameter, from which date to from which date you want to calculate the number of days. The first parameter is today's date. Okay, just an example, from today's date till 2022, how many days it will be. Example, I asked you to calculate what are from today in 2020, from today, that is nothing but 2025, 2020, 26/01. From today I want to see what is my date before 2 years exactly. If that is the case, then I have to write a query like what I have to minus out of today's date to till last 2 years of a data, right? Date, right? That will give you the number of days between 2 years, right? So in that case, I have to write a query such as date difference. DD is the number of days that you want to calculate. Get date from today's date to the older date, that is 2022/08/30. Okay, in this case, for our convenient, let's do one thing. So 2023, due 2023, 2 years back, and mention same January, and mention same 26th only, right? So I want to find out what is my number of days before 2 years exactly for this date. If that is the case, this date minus get date minus of the 2 years backdated data, then calculate my how many days. Then you have to write a query date difference of DD get date minus of 2 years of date which I want to display as second parameter. Then it will show you the my 731. So if at why it is showing minus 731, exactly 731 days back, this is the date duration between today's date to that particular date. Almost it is 365, 365, 2 years, right? So plus of those 2 years, it is approximately comes around 731. That's what it is showing. Similarly, if I want to fetch the any other dates, right? So first parameter number of days, then number of what is the date to what is the far behind date, right? If you calculate that, that will give you the duration. So basically what you need to understand is how the date difference work. Date difference always works. You have to calculate, give the first parameter what you want to calculate. either you want to calculate the days or you want to calculate the number of years. And then second parameter, what is the date to what is the date that you want to calculate, duration kind of a stuff, right? That's what you need to understand. So if at all I want to calculate the here, I first two queries I calculated the dates, sorry, days. Second two queries I want to find out the number of years between get date to this date. If that is the case, right, it will show -1. See, because 2024 I gave here. Similarly, if I give 2021 to till date, if I want to calculate, that is almost 3 years, right? 3 to 4 years, 4 years. So it will display 4 years -4. So that's how the date difference function works. Similarly, date add function. So whatever the vice versa kind of a stuff, if I want to calculate the difference, then there is a function called date difference. If I want to add from today's date to, for today's date, I want to add 3 more days or 3 more months or 3 more years, then there is a function called date add, which is available to add the number of days or months or year to the date that you want to calculate. Similarly, three parameters that you want to pass. What you want to pass, first parameter, either days or month or year, what you want to add, that you have to pass here. And number of days or months or year that you want to add, this is the second parameter. For which date you want to add is the third parameter. That is what you need to pass. In this case, I want to add for today's date, that is 26th date, I want to add 3 more days. If that is my requirement, that is 29, right? So it will display that dd plus 3, which is the number of days that I want to add, and which date, for which date you want to add these 3 days. That is the date, get date. For get date, I am adding the 3 days. So which will be get date plus 3 days, which is the date it is going to display. See, 29th it displayed. If similarly, if I mention 5, it will mention 31st, because 31st, today's date plus 5, 31. That's what it is. Similarly, if I want to add a months for this, right, January is there. January, for January, if I add 3 more months, that is March, April will come, right? That is fourth month of the 2025, right? So it displayed the 2025 April 26. Similarly, if I add 3 more years, that is YY 3, comma 3 plus get date, that is 2028. So it will display 2028 and 01 26. That's what it displays. See, okay, that's how date add function works. Similarly, end of month, there is another function called end of month. What is end of month? For today's date, 26th date, January 2025, what is the end of month? End of month either 30 or 31st or 29 or 28, whatever, right? So for this month, what is my end of month date? That will display. See, 31st it displayed. And if I pass this date in place of get date, I pass the one particular date, 2021 02 or 10, right? If you calculate, okay, don't go that far, let's see for December. Okay, take a December 2024, right? In 2024 December, what is my last date in the December? It's 31st. Okay, let's do one more thing. Let's go to November. So in November, what is my last day of the month? That is 30 here, right? If I want to see in November 2024 what is the last day of that particular month, then if I give 2024, where it went, in 2024 11, that is sorry man, what's happening, 2024 11, and mention any date. Okay, now November. So for this month, what is my end date for that particular month? Then there is a function called end of month, 2024 November, that is 30. If you run this query, then it will give you the 30/11/2024. So end of month will help you to get the last date of that particular month, whatever the date that you pass as the parameter. Okay, there are some format date time function that you can go ahead and check it out. These are the parts, basically how you want to display the, see, year, month, day all these parts basically that you want to display, then this example, now you are passing these as the separate values, right? When you use this date from parts, if I pass like this, it will concatenate with the date format and it will show you in that format. So basically formatting of the dates, that's how you can use this date from parts and date time formats, all these formatting basically. Okay, so whenever you want to do some formatting out of the dates and the time and timestamp and all, then there are functions that is available is date from parts and date time from two formats. Okay, so is date today, is date is a function which will tell you whether today's date is a is date or not, right? So it display one, what it is, what does it mean, it is already there or not, if is date 217. So what is the meaning of is date? Is date is, suppose you passed the entire 2017 August 2025, you are passed the perfect date, I mean qualified date, which is the exact date, right? So if it is a date format, it is present in a such a proper way, then it will, is date will be 1, it will display as a 1. How? Yes, it is correct, that's correct, whatever you are passed is the date, is it's a date value. But if you are not passing the date value as a proper one, 2017 only you passed, you didn't pass it the month and the date, then you are asking is it a date or not? So then it will disqualify and say that it is not a date, it will display 0 as the output, 1 0. If it is a date, it will display as a 1. If it is not the date which you pass, it is a value, then it will display as a 0. Sorry, something wrong, man. Okay, it is displayed that particular year. Okay, anyway, it is 2017 August 2025, it is entire date set, it is displayed as a 1. Even you pass it the year also, it considered as the date, it is displayed as the 1. But in case of is date, you are passing some string which is not at all a date format value, right? Hello world is a, it is not date format, right? And you are passing and you are asking that is it a date or not. If this is the class that you are passing, it will display as a 0. So any value is date is a function which will help you to address whether the date that you passed is the date value or not. If it is not date value, it will display as a 0. If it is a date value, then it is displays output as the 1. Okay. Okay, these are all about the date functions. Now there is a string functions. What are the string function in SQL Server? There are string function ltrim, rtrim, lower, upper, reverse, first name, last name, and last two characters and substrings. There are multiple functions are available. So let's go one by one. What is ltrim? Ltrim is trim out. Example, any string value that you're gonna pass. If there are any blank spaces before the start of any string values. Example, if you observe here, right? SQL tutorial. If I gave that string as the ltrim of SQL tutorial, if I give that in the beginning of the SQL tutorial, there is some spaces are available. But if I'm telling with the ltrim function that if there are any spaces, blank spaces are available before my string value, then trim out, I mean remove out those spaces and showcase me only the string value. If ltrim helps you to remove out the any blank spaces that are available before the string value, that is in this case, before the SQL tutorial value there are some blank spaces are available, then if I want to remove it, then there is a function called ltrim will help you to trim out the blank spaces before your string value. See, it will remove and give you a SQL tutorial alone. But if you are not giving, okay, if you are not giving ltrim, what will happen? It will display you the entire string along with the space. Let's see what's the difference between this and that, so that you will get an idea. See, if you observe, right, in this SQL function there is some space in the beginning which you are display, which you are given in the beginning here, right? But if you use the ltrim of this particular string function, then it is removed out that space which is available extra before the string. So ltrim helps you to trim out the any blank spaces available whether in the left side of the string or right side of the string. For remove the right side blank spaces string, right sides blank spaces which are available after the string, Then there is a function called rtrim, that is the right side of the trim. Trim out the blank spaces available present after the string. In this case, rtrim helps you to remove the strings, sorry, blank spaces that are available after the string which you are showing here. SQL tutorial will help you after any rtrim of this SQL tutorial will help you any remove the all the blank spaces that are available in the right side. See, it is removed out. Okay, similarly, if you use rather than l trim or right trim, you just use the trim, right? If you are not using any l or r specific one, then remove out the it will help you to remove these blank spaces that are available before the string or after the string. Both it will take care. See, it removed out the any spaces that are available in the beginning also and after also. That's how the trim works. Okay, now there is a lower and upper function string functions are available. What are these for example? Now you are writing in upper cases SQL tutorial, but my requirement is I want to convert this into these small letters. Then there is a function called lower. Select lower of that string value, that will help you to convert into lower function. See, it is displayed in the lowercase. Similarly, reverse of that, that is uppercase. If you want to display anything which you wrote in the small letters, that is what, select a upper of, make it upper. That is what you are saying. Select upper of this string. It made it to the upper cases. Similarly, SQL tutorial is there, but I want to display it in the reverse manner. L in the first, A in the second, I is the third letter. Whatever it is there is the from A to B, I am displaying to B to Z to A, something like that. I want to reverse display the value that I am passing it as a string. Then the reverse, there is a function called reverse which will display in the reverse order. Okay, example, there is a ABC, I want to display it as a CBA. Then the reverse of ABC will help you to display as a CBA. So reverse function will help you to reverse out the value that you are passing. Okay, and there is a function, this is very important function which will be asked multiple times in your interviews also. Substring, what is substring? Example, now there is one string function, string value that is passing here. There always substrings will consist of three parameters. One is the string value where you want to do this substring. Okay, that is the string value. And first, from where you want to take calculation for the particular string value to calculate, that is second parameter. And till which character value that you want to calculate the string, that is the third parameter. In this case, example, select substring, open parenthesis, SQL tutorial is your string value which you want to calculate the substrings. And I mentioned one means I am asking to SQL server to start the calculation from first character, that is yes, right? From there to till what character I need to calculate, three characters, that is nothing but from start from yes, that is first character, and calculate till three characters, that is nothing but 1 2 3 till L. So I am telling to the SQL server by using the substring that, hey, go and calculate within the SQL tutorial string, start from first character, calculate till, calculate and showcase only the till character, till third character values. That is nothing but in this case I am asking to calculate from S and stop calculating and showcase me the output till L, that is nothing but third character, 1 2 3. So when you use substring and pass the string value and asking to calculate from 1 to 3, it will calculate from the 1 to 3 values and it display the output as the SQL. See, it is not displayed the tutorial part of it because you are asking and you are doing the substring to calculate till only three characters. Example, if I give 6, hey, go and calculate from 1 to 6, that is nothing but 1 2 3, one space also it calculates 4, and 5 is the T, U is the sixth. So it will display SQL space TU. See, that's how it's gonna display. And you are asking, okay, example, now you are asking to calculate from the first string. Okay, I do not want to calculate from first string, I want to calculate from second string, that is from q. Then you have to change it to second part, second letter. Then it will start calculating from q, l space third point, and fourth is a t, and u is the fifth letter, t is another, t is the sixth letter. It will calculate from q to another t. See, it is not started calculating from S, because you mentioned start the calculation from second letter. That's what the indication of the substring. So you got the substring, how the substring works. You have to give the string which you want to calculate, and what is the first letter from where to where you want to calculate is the one, and then till which character you want to calculate is the third parameter. So substring will help you to get the sub part of the string from the main string value. Okay, now there is a replace function, right? What is replace? Replace also, this is also one of the important function. So example, there is a SQL tutorial is there, one of the string value, but my requirement is I want to replace SQL value whatever it is. If it is in this particular string, if there is a SQL string is present, okay, I want to replace that with the some other value, that is your third parameter. So you mention select replace the string value which you want to do some manipulation or replace values, that is the string value, and you want to find out which particular string out of the entire string. Okay, in this case that is your second parameter. So in this case I want to find out SQL. Okay, if this is present, what is the replacement value that I need to place in place of that, that is what the third value ABC. So my requirement is first string pass the SQL tutorial, wherever it is present as a SQL, replace that with ABC. If that is my request, that is my requirement, then you have to write select replace of the string value and find out SQL replace with ABC. See, it is replaced the SQL with ABC. Okay, similar case, I just want to display some other thing just to showcase you how you can write it on your own, right? So now in this case tutorial is there. Okay, just in place of tutorial I want to place it as some triple x, right? If I want to display this, so then I have to replace SQL tutorial is there, out of that tutorial replace the tutorial versus some other value as xxx. Then you have to write like this, it will display SQL space triple x, it is the output that will come out. See, so whenever you want to replace certain string value in the main string value, then there is a function available called replace, will help you to which where you have to pass the three parameters always. One is the string value, in that string value what is the string value particularly you want to replace, and what is the replacement value for that particular string is the third parameter which you want to write it down. So any questions? So you learned L trim, R trim, trim, lower, upper, reverse, and substring, and replace. Okay, so now there are some cast functions available. Okay, what are cast function? Cast and convert. Basically, whenever certain, so 25.65, this is not the whole integer value, but I want to display it as an integer value. Then there is a cast function that is available. So cast 25.565, which is the decimal value, but I want to display this as an integer. Then you have to write select cast of 25.65 as int. If I mention like this, it will convert 25.65 decimal value into integer, which is nothing but 25.65 into, convert that into 25 and display. See, if I displayed it as a varchar, it will display entire thing 25.65 decimal value. It make it as a varchar, read it as a varchar. If that is the case, then cast of 25.65 as a varchar, it will display 25.65 because it read this value as varchar. When I asked specifically read this value as an integer, it converted into integer part. So basically whatever the value that you want to convert into some other value as an integer or a varchar, different data types, then there is a functions available in SQL Server, cast and convert. The way of writing is little bit different than the cast and convert, but cast and converts are more preferably helpful to change the data type of the read of that particular value. So cast function converts a value of any type into specified data type. Example, any type means any type of a value into specified data type. Specify is in the sense, if here in this case I am specified as an integer. Hey, please read this 25.65 value as an integer. I am asking to read it as an integer. That's what it is converted into integer. When I'm asked this value to read it as a varchar data type, then it read it as varchar data type. Got it? Similarly, I'm asking this to convert as a date time. So this particular date I am asking to display it as a date time function. Then it will display date with the time also. See, it displayed as 00000 also date time. Okay, similar way, the way of other writing is similar case. Convert function converts the value of any type into specified data type. In this type, again, same thing, right? Only the way of writing is little bit different. Cast, you are displaying the data type that you want to display as a end, but in convert, you have to display whatever the data type that you want to convert and display. That is the first part, and second part, the value of the value which you want to display, right? So same thing, convert int as the 25, convert varchar which will display as the varchar 25.65, and convert date time, it will display the date with the timestamp. See, so basically what you need to know is convert and cast functions are there in the data type, help to convert the date particular specified data types for the values that you want to convert. And what is the main difference between cast and convert is, cast is the ANSI standard function, convert is not a ANSI standard function, and which is the portable, and which is portable to various database platforms, and other hand, convert is a function specific to SQL Server. Cast will help, cast can be cast functional. What is the difference between cast and convert, right? Cast and convert, one is the way of writing the uh, cast and convert function is the difference, and cast is always the ANSI standard function, wherein convert is not a ANSI standard function. And second one, cast will collaborate and works with the various platforms, Oracle, HANA and all, but convert will not work with any other platforms apart from SQL Server. That is the main thing. And there is also significant difference in the syntax as shown in the above. That is what, right? The way of writing the syntax is little bit different than the cast and convert. Okay, then there is a is null and IAF and null if functions, right? So what is is null? Is null means, so any string value is there, okay? In this string value, if it is null, okay, if it is null, it will check like, it will display as null. Okay, that means you are asking whatever the value that you are passing, if it is null, display the null value. I will show you the difference. Is null, okay, hello. So SQL tutorial is not a null value. If it is not a null value, then don't display the that particular value. Let's run this, I will make you understand. Okay, if you observe, right, there are two things that I did. What I did is, first query is null. If it is a null SQL tutorial, if it is a null value, then display the SQL tutorial first value, right? If it is not null, then please display the hello value. Let's run three together, then you will get the most proper understanding. See what will happen here. Go in a reverse way. Is null, comma, first value is null, comma 500. it checked the first character if it is null. Okay, if the first parameter is null, then display the 500. If the first parameter is not null, then don't display the second value. It displayed the that particular value. First, what we'll check is it is the first parameter is null or not. If it is null, then display the second parameter. If it is not null, display the first parameter itself. That's the understanding. You got it? That's the simple understanding. Select is null of in the first parameter place. If it is null, then asking to display whatever it is there in the second parameter. Okay. If it is not null, in this case, hello is not a not null value, right? If it is not a null, not a not null value, then display the as is value, that is hello. That is what it is displayed. If it is first parameter itself is a null value, then it is displayed the second parameter value. So what it will check is there are two parameters always in the is null function. If the first parameter is displayed at as null value, sorry, if it is the first parameter is null value, then it will display the second parameter. If it is not null, not a null value, then it will display the whatever the value that is present in the first parameter. That's the understanding. You got it or not? Okay, hope you got
Yes.
it. Similarly, IAF function. What is IAF function? IAF function, there are three parameters that you're gonna pass it in IAF function. First one is the condition. If the condition is passed, then it will display yes, second parameter. If the condition is not passed, it's not a valid, then it will display the second value. Example, 1 is greater than 2, 2 is greater than 1, that is true, right? Always 2 is a bigger than the 1, right? If that condition is true, then it will display yes. If it is not, this condition is not a true, then it will display no value. That is what I am trying to say here. So what I am saying is check the condition. If the condition is true, that is valid, then display the second parameter, whatever I put here. If it is the condition is not satisfying, it is not a true valid, then display the second parameter. In this case, 1 is greater than 2 is greater than the 1. Yes, that is correct. That's what it is going to display. See, okay, now think like if this is true, I do not want to show it as s, I want to show it as triple one. Okay, and if this is false, then I want to show it as triple zero. Okay, if 2 is greater than 1, then it will display 1111. If it is 2 is less than 1, then display the triple zero. That's what I am trying to achieve here. See, it displayed. Okay, reverse it. 2 is 1 is greater than 2. No, that's wrong, right? 1 is not a bigger than the 2, that is smaller than the 2, right? So the condition is false. If the condition is plus, it will display the second parameter, that is nothing but 0000. It will not display the 1. See, that's how it works. It checks for the condition. If the condition is valid and true, it displays the second parameter, whatever I'm put here. If it is a wrong one, it will display the last parameter. Okay, take an example, another one. Hello is equals to buy. That is wrong, right? Hello is never equals to buy. That is wrong only. If it is wrong, it will display the third parameter as a no. If it is yes, I mean that is matching, then it will display the second parameter. In this case, hello is equal to buy, I don't think that is a matching one. It will display the third parameter, that is no condition. See, similarly, 1 equal to 1, that is a valid condition, true condition, it will display the second parameter, that is yes. See, it displayed, right? So another one, null if function. So little bit understanding on the is null. The null is null will check in the first parameter. If it is null, it will display the second parameter. If it is the first parameter itself is a null condition, then it will display the second parameter. First parameter is not a null condition, then it will display the value as it is. Similarly, null if function. What is null if function? If the two parameters are, see, what it does is it will check these two parameters. If it is if this condition is equal to this condition, make a null. It displayed it as a null. Hello equal to hello, yes, that is true, it as a null. Hello equal to word, that is not matching, then it will not display the null, it will display the value. See, hello, it displayed the hello. So what it does is, it will check the first parameter versus the second parameters. If it is matching, then it will display it as a null value. Okay, if it is matching, null. If it is not matching, then it will display the first value itself. Okay, that's the little bit of vice versa of null is null function. Okay, so in this case, hello is equal to word is not matching, it displayed as the hello as the output. Similarly, 2017 826 is not equals to 2017 825, two different values. If it is not matching, it will display the first value itself, that is 26. See, it displayed the first value. Wherever it is matching, it displayed as the null value, because null if function will helps to put the display the null value if the two parameter conditions are matching. If the two parameters conditions are not matching, a null if condition fails and it displays the first parameter value itself. So that's how the null if works. Okay, that's it about the string functions. We can cover a little bit on the dense rank also. Let's do that. There are some Windows functions that are available. Uh, okay, let's do that. So dim product. Now there is a sales table. Just think that, but I'm not having insert data right here. That's the problem. I don't have any data here. One minute, I will check it out. Sales is not there. Mm, okay, we can cover in the next session. So what we can do is, there are some functions, Windows functions that are available: rank, dense rank, and also there is some function called row number, and first value, last value, lead, lag. All these functions are available, and how you can use these function, and also case statement. We can cover the case statement today. So case statement. So example, there is one table called orders. Okay, in the order table, I created all these tables. I inserted a data into orders table. So now let's run the orders table. So I think you few days ago you asked one question, when I want to update the particular table with the conditions, then how you want to update is the question that you asked a few days ago. So now if you see, right, there are orders table 1 2 3 4 5 orders are there. In that, order IDs are there, and then the products, what are the product IDs that are got ordered, and how many quantities they ordered of this product, right? So that's the details that you captured in your orders table, right? So now when the quantity is more than greater than 30, then I want to display that value as the quantity is greater than 30. That is the comment that I want to display, right? When the quantities are equal to 30, then I want to display the comment saying that the quantity is 30 value. And if these, apart from these two cases, any quantities are there, any quantity of the products are there, I want to display that quantity values as the quantity is under 30. That's the case statement that I want to display as the comments. Then there is a case statement that is available. Check that order ID. If you observe the data, right, wherever the product ID greater than 30, right, that is nothing but quantity column. If you see, right, quantity column greater than 30 is one product is there, that is 51. So 40 is greater than 30. If this, for this product I want to display the quantity is greater than 30. Okay, when the quantity is equal to 30, then I want to display that the quantity is 30. I don't think there is any quantity as the 30. If it is not there, it will not there, right? If these conditions are not at all true, then that is a else part of it, right? When these conditions are not there, not met and not displayed, the general comment that I want to put it as, the quantity is always under 30. That is what the comment I want to display. So in this case, what will happen is, if you observe for the quantity 40, which is greater than 30, for that it will display as the quantity greater than 30. And rest all quantity values are, most of the them are either it's a less than 30, or all are less than 30 basically, right? So it will not come under these two conditions at all. Then it will get into the else part. It will display the value as a comment as the quantity is under the 30. That is what it display. And that particular comment column, you are displaying it as the quantity text or quantity comment, you can mention whatever you want to do, and give the column name for that as some column name that you want to give it here. So select order ID from the orders table, quantity from the quantity orders table, case. This is the syntax that you need to write. Case when quantity is greater than 30, then you need to give a comment what you want to display for that particular condition validation. And second condition, you give quantity when quantity is equals to 30, then give the comment that you want to display. Else for these conditions are not valid, then get into the else part and display the general comment which you want to display for the else part, and end that case. As the column name, you give the column name which you want to give the column name to display this condition from table name. That's the syntax that you need to follow and write it down. Let's try and run together. See, it is what it is displayed. You understood? For the quantities which is less than the 30, it is displayed as a quantity is under 30, which is in the else part. For the quantity which is more than 30, that is 40 here, for that quantity displayed as the quantity is greater than 30. Any questions on the case statement?
No.
You understood?
Yes.
Okay, let's understand lead lag also, right? So I created a table net sale. Okay, in the net sale I am having the ID, seller name, seller value. Okay, I'm having ID 312, self, seller name, allies, sorry, Steph, allies and Millie is the seller names, and the seller values also, sale values also, right? So lead lag is nothing but lag the sale value order by sale value. That means it will calculate. If you run this query, I will tell you better. Lag function, how the lag function works. So what it does is, let's understand the query also. So what I wrote here is, display the seller name, seller value, sale value, lag the sale value. Lag the sale value is, this is your sale value. Okay, and it will over order by sale value, right? Order by sale value in the ascending manner, small to big, right? From previous sale value. So what it does is, lag means, you are doing the example for this sale value. It order by, first it will do the order by 7,000, 12,000, 25,000, right? What it does is, if you observe here, for Steph 7,000 is the sale value, Alice 12,000, Millie is 25,000, right? So when you do the lag sale value as the previous sale value, you are displaying the lag value for these sale values, right? So 7,000, it will go to the next sale value, and similarly 12,000 will go to the next 12,000 next value for the milli, right? So what it does is, for Alice, what is the previous sale value? That is 7,000. For Millie, what is the previous sale value? That is 12,000. Lag function will help you to display the sale values of the previous sale value for that corresponding seller names in the sale order. So always it will go to the previous sale value and display the corresponding values. The example, if you see, right, one more record is there. Think like that, and one more record is there, which is 30,000. For 30,000 sale value, what is my previous lag sale value? 25,000. It is what it is going to display here. But for 7,000, if you see, right, there is no other record in the beginning of the 7,000. Hence, it is displayed as null for first record. So exact vice versa of this one is the lead function. Lag function will display the previous, but lead function will be next previous. Example, for 7,000, what is the next sale value? 12,000. It will display like that. For 12,000, what is my next value? That is lead one, 25,000. For 25,000, what is my next lead value? Nothing is there. It's a null. For 25,000 it is null. For 12,000 it will display as a 25,000. For 7,000 it will display 12,000. In case of lag function, sorry, lead function. Lead lags are helpful to previous and also the next value. You got it? Exactly vice versa of that one.
Yes.
Okay. So that's it about. We can cover the rank, dense rank, and row functions in one more session. We can do that. I need some data for that to go over. So I need rank, dense rank, and row number. These three we have to cover. We can take it in next session. I think pretty much 1 hour we covered. We can have it in next session with respect to rank, dense rank, and row number. Any other questions that you want to discuss or know or anything?
No.
If not, we are good to end this session. Thank you. Thank you all.